Hey, how you doing? Welcome to another episode of Projects with Chaz. How the freak am I going to do that? Today we're going to replace a sump pump. I have a sump pump crock over here in my basement, and I noticed that with all the snow melting here in Michigan, it usually goes off and sounds like there's a machine gun battle going off downstairs, but I haven't heard it in a while. So I popped the lid and fiddled with it and noticed that it wasn't working. So before the basement floods and we got a big mess on our hands, I'm going to replace that. I went and bought a big fat new one at Ace Hardware. You can buy them at Lowe's, Home Depot, or any hardware store. It's not that difficult to replace. This will be like the third time I've done it. I'm going to show you how to do it yourself and save some cash. So stay tuned. All right, this is the sump pump I just picked up from Ace. I'm not sponsored by them or I'm not promoting them, but they're down the street from me. And I picked up this industrial or contractor grade cast iron one. I've gone through a few plastic ones. They seem to just fly apart. So I went with the $200 one. And you want to make sure like all these little parts are not steel, because especially if you have a water softener that discharges into your crock, it'll rust out. This is plastic, so it should last a while. But this, you want it to be cast iron so it just doesn't fly apart, especially if it's going off multiple times a day, like here in Michigan when all the snow melts. All right, that's the sump pump right there. That little plunger thing's supposed to rise up with the water and then trigger it and set it off, and then it pumps the water out of this PVC pipe up and out. So the first thing you want to do is unplug it. So follow the cord, figure out where it's plugged in. There's mine. All right. I'm kneeling on a piece of patio furniture cushion because my wife will never know. She doesn't watch my videos. And let's nestle in here. First thing I need to do is probably take some of these tie downs or these zip ties off of the PVC pipe. And I know this is hard to see because the lighting sucks, but there's some clamps that have, you can either take a screwdriver or a nut driver or a socket and loosen those up. I'm sure it all depends on what you have rigged up, but this is a 5/16. Holy. Well, that's the water that was originally pumped up, and then when this thing died, it was just trapped. So that's it. This lifted off of this. Let's get this out and see what the hell we're dealing with. And I'm ready to pull this thing out. Hey, that's what she said. All right. All right, oh, I gotta snip that over there. So it looks like I need to get this part off. Okay, I have this up and out and on my table here so we can take a look. Old one, new one. So this thing is just shot. It was connected previously with like a piece of metal, and I think the water from the water softener being salty just corroded it, so I had to rig this up. Basically this float, when it comes up, it kicks on the motor and the water goes up and out of the house. So I need to get this piece out and connect it into this and then rig it up over there. Everybody should have a big pair of kick-ass channel locks, because you never know when you need to do something weird like this. This part that was on top, I recall buying this years ago at Ace. Sump pump check valve. It's got a flapper in there so that the water can be pumped through, but it doesn't come back down. So if you don't have one on your rig, go buy one and stick it on there. So I'm just going to cinch this up and then tighten it up with the channel locks. All right, let's tighten this up. All right, that's about as tight as she's going to go. Let's get this new sump pump dropped in. Whoop. and connect this up. There. And then I'm going to tighten this up so that it's nice and secure. All right, I got the sump pump rigged up. I've got the plug. I'm going to shove her in, see if it works. There goes the water. Boom. Nice. All right, if you have a water softener that discharges into your crock, just make sure you zip tie all the hoses back, because when it discharges, it gets crazy and you don't want it to pop out and start shooting water all over your basement floor. And I zip tie the power cord to the hose or to the pipe here, so that if something falls on it, it's not going to come unplugged by accident. So let's put the lid on and we're done. All right, mofos, we're done with another successful project. I just took out this crappy old sump pump, and the tools I needed was a nut driver, some snips, some new zip ties, a big channel locks, some gloves because it's gross, and I needed an extra clamp because I dropped one down in the crock. And that's about it. Just make sure you have a bunch of paper towels because it's slimy. All right, guys, another successful Projects with Chaz. We replaced this sump pump. No need to call a plumber. You can do it yourself. I just showed you how. So like all successful projects, I'm going to crack open a beer and celebrate that I just saved a ton of cash. So if this helped you out, like the video, subscribe to my page, make a comment or two, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.